Okay. Good morning, folks. We are live. The main thing I want to do this morning, so I've got an hour and a half before this presentation. This presentation will be streamed live here. Probably will stand up and move this chair, maybe. But this will be live. And I think I've got just enough time before this to see if we can fix up the architectures, like the way we're handling networks in the code. It's really, really freaking complicated because there are all these buffers floating around. Working copy. Huh. Yeah, it's just getting very, very overcomplicated, I'd say here. So it's only for the master weights, right? Which, like, this is the expected design. This is what it should be. What about encoder? Rollout buffer, train buffer. Yeah, I did something weird here, right? Let's create policy. Hey, Spencer. Yeah, it's really freaking tough to get a clean way to do the policies here so that we can have multiple encoders and stuff. Because, like, everything's getting registered to static buffers and we have mixed precision. So I'm trying to clean this up. It's quite fancy. Oh, yeah, I forgot to reply. I saw your thing and then I went to dinner. I gotta watch the clips, but otherwise I think we'll be good. Um, Sunday. Okay, yeah. Working on this is also solid. They do get some time off this weekend as well. Please get some rest. I can look at the clips with you. Let's say after. We can even do later this afternoon if we want to do like a short session on some stuff just to make sure stuff is on track. I have the talk for Warwick at 11 Eastern, so in an hour and a half. I'm gonna try to clean this up first and then see if I can just get a little bit more done on this. It's tough because like now that we're doing it this way, if this is not clean, it's worthless, right? Like this has to be clean. Um, it really, really has to be like, okay, this is clearly better than the torch version. Tomorrow, I can do sometime tomorrow. Yeah, that's good. Spending a couple days working on MPS support. Do you care for that? Not quite ready for a PR. Ooh, so MPS support will definitely work for the torch backend. How is Wait, you can't just run CUDA on MPS though, right? Because our native 4.0 backend is all CUDA. What Warwick talk? Given a talk for Warwick University to a bunch of undergrads. It'll be streamed here live as well. I'll probably like shut the stream off and then turn it back on right before as well, so it like is easy to clip it for YouTube. We'll see. So I guess then the main thing is right here. Neural MMO, PufferLib, working on like really long form out there projects for many years that eventually become broadly useful. Like it's just a lot of stuff about all the work I've done, and it's supposed to be kind of a cool story for the undergrads. Also introduce them to a really awesome area of AI, that sort of thing. Hey Liberty, hey Sully, how's it going? Yeah, so the issue here we have, it's this, right? These suck. Register, yeah, these helpers all suck. Difficulty to learn. If you get it in the base case, we can domain randomize. I'm pretty confident. Like the thing that we discussed in particular, which you already kind of had a version of, that was a little janky. But I think I have a good, like, there's a good solve for that. If you basically make it just like a box instead of a line, but we'll talk about that soon. Register weight grad tensors. Yeah, so this, I don't like any, I hate having these lambda like, anon functions everywhere. So then I guess the question is, these are here because, yeah, these are here because of mixed precision, right? Reg grads only gets used once. Reg train. Reg grad, reg train. Param. Grad. Where's the reg weights? Oh. Yeah, I'm not happy with the complexity overhead here, because if you think about what's going on in training, we have several static buffers for parallel rollouts that have to store activations. We have the weight and grad buffers. The weight buffers have to be for BF16 and for FP32. We have the, we also have the train buffers for the train rollouts. Those also need grads. There's just a lot of stuff going on here, and it has to not be such a mess. Hmm. Yeah, see, it's inlined it here. This is really bad. And why does it do this? Oh, it's... Yeah, what the heck? The init waits also only gets called once, dude. Yeah, that's dumb. Okay, maybe this isn't as bad as I thought. This might just be this model being stupid. So, I think we can... Oh, let's see. Uh, well, hang on. The key insight here, though... it's still not clear to me. Can you always make it in FP32? No. Uh, because the activations become BF16, right? What's the presentation about? Presentation will cover neural MMO. It's like an abridged version of stuff from my thesis for an undergrad audience with more focus on like the journey and that sort of thing. It's more casual as well. It's also going to include a little bit of latest stuff on, well, stuff from like RLC presentation, building PufferLib, where that stuff came from, and then a little bit freeform at the end about some of the latest stuff I've been working on, plus a bunch of Q&A. Be the idea. I don't know if I live stream the Q&A or not. I can live stream my portion of the audio. I probably can't stream the question, so I'll just like repeat the question. Importantly, I'm not going to be taking questions from the chat during the presentation. I'll actually have it like closed at the top or whatever, most likely. However, I will take questions after I finish with Warwick and I jump off the call with them. If people have questions and want to save them, I will still be streaming, so you'll be able to ask them. What does this even do? So this calls create policy. And this calls encoder init, which does what? It registers parameters. That's really dumb. Hello, Joseph. Are you in Poland? What? No, I am not in Poland. It's online. Wait, is that where Warwick is? Is it in Poland? England. That's what I thought. With my son, he's UG studying mecha engineering. Oh, very cool. Yeah, it'll be live streamed, and if you miss it, it's also it'll be on YouTube. Any engineering student with actually even like a first programming course in systems, it has to be a systems course, but a first programming course in systems can pretty much just jump in and start doing RL if that's a fun thing. Where's this encoder init thing? Encoder init, P encoder. Yeah, I don't like this one bit. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Nish, you're intern this year. Yes, it's yeah, he's one of the organizers of that of the presentation series, yeah. We have not discussed a start date with Finn, but he can just start whenever he wants in the spring. We said it'll be like 12 weeks. David Silver, very famous. Yes, of course. Yeah, you really can't let these models design anything. They'll design anything you let them design, they'll design poorly. I actually do wonder, I wonder how much of the models being really bad at programming is them being trained on really bad code. Like, I wonder if the models would just get better if you just deleted the really bad code from the training set. I mean, you'd probably just end up with not enough training code for the data set, I guess, but Let's see if this gets better. I think the most likely thing is well, it's a little bit annoying because I don't know how we're going to do the weight registrations. Hmm. It's very, very important that we make the policy simple to work with. Are you ball? No, dude, I'm not using that thing, dude. Let's see if this looks better. Well, this is the init syntax I like. Okay, let's see what other complexity comes out of this. Do you need... Hmm. Let's make sure this didn't break it in the process. What's your token usage? Stupidly high right now. The hope is that it goes down to nearly zero once we have this refactored. Because after this, like, once we have this actually clean, there's essentially no other dumb things I'm forced to use in the workflow, right? It's just the process of getting the awful torch code into this is not good. How on earth did it break this? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not gonna let it do it that way. Try codex. I don't know, I guess. I think ultimately if Gemini ends up being decent, I'd rather use that. If I'm just thinking of like which of the companies I'd rather give money to. Which is pretty sad that it ends up being Google of all of them. Okay, no more jank C++. Getting closer to C. Demis is so honest about AGI and stuff. Demis is a genius, and like actually, with the way things shook out, I think he's the only one who I still have like a ton of trusted and respect for. Like it's funny because it's when it started, I actually kind of didn't like. There are a lot of ways about with how DeepMind does stuff that I don't really agree with, but like the other AI companies have just botched it so hard that now it makes DeepMind stuff look very, very good by comparison. So basically, the thing that I always say with DeepMind, right, is they do too much math for the sake of them just liking to do math. So no matter what the best approach is to solve a problem, they will kind of always just approach it from the perspective of let's do as much fancy math as possible. And in the sort of the peak eras of RL, OpenAI was solving at least as hard, if not harder, problems while using much simpler methods, which is better. You want to use simpler methods, and they simply had better engineering. Whereas DeepMind just would not do the engineering and end up with fancier math to compensate, which is not the thing you want to do. Right? You want to have good engineering and simple methods. Now, of course, then the thing is that OpenAI and the others kind of just stopped doing the stuff entirely. So I'd rather have the overly complicated methods on stuff actually still getting done. But it's a bit unfortunate. There was like a much healthier balance of engineering and science at OpenAI, and even at like even some of the stuff with Meta for a little bit was, though that's was a little questionable. It was kind of just like a small niche thing. I don't know. Hey Quinn, Anthropic lost their good. They never had any, man. If anybody was watching them, like, uh, if you were there when they split off, it was literally just the crazy people from OpenAI leaving. Like it was nutcases from the start with them. Do you know what happened with XAI? I don't have any more details than are like public. I mean, it seems fine. It's like, a bunch of gung ho, like, we're gonna like solve the thing with a small team, which is good. Um, I really don't like their tech stack. Goddamn, TypeScript and Rust is just like a shoot me now tech stack. I mean, this is better. We're not quite there yet, but this is better. Switching to Python. I mean, that's not the fix either. I honestly think that the best thing is if you have real engineers, it should be mostly just CUDA. Unless you're on TPUs, in which then, yeah, you're forced to use Jackson crap, but that's just awful, awful. All day long stream today. I'd say mostly. I have the talk at 11, so in an hour we're gonna go do that talk. We'll have the stream on for that. I'm probably gonna like toggle the stream on and off just so that it cuts, so I can clip it nicely for YouTube. To a datathon today. Datathon. Is that where you like analyze a bunch of data, or is that where you go on a bunch of dates? XLA backend for Torch is improving. I don't care. It's the wrong level of abstract. Like, that whole thing is just such a mess. I don't want to touch it. Look, I would love to have something where you could have multiple backends easily. But honestly, like, NVIDIA is the only one that's actually written a decent backend. Like, CUDA is good. Nobody else has something good. So, we're gonna write CUDA. XLA is not human writable, as far as I'm aware. Ain't that good thing? DeepMind is very mathy. It's a good thing to have the capability to do a bunch of math. It's not a good thing to use that as a substitute for engineering. Hackathon for data. All right, fair enough. Cool, good luck. That sounds much less exhausting than the other one. See, this is still down here. This is bad, right? Oh, okay, I see. It's just duping the code. Who had better model back then? AlphaGo or Open? In my mind, it's Dota, and it's not even close. Oh wait, AlphaGo. Okay. That one's harder. I read that as Alpha Star. Um, that one is harder to say. Because it's really hard to understand the complexity in Go. In my mind, it's Dota. For me, it's Dota. It's like a way easier problem to map onto problems we care about elsewhere. It's multi-agent, it's cooperative, there's teamwork, there's team play, there's theory of mind, though there's that in Go as well. And solved without search. So for me, it's Dota. Doing math just to do math is excessive. Yeah. Like a good version of this, for instance, is like muon, right? You do some math, you understand some preconditioning, you come up with a good optimizer. It's actually good. There's not another way to do it that's like simpler. Like that's a good example. A bad example would be like, look at AlphaStar versus look at Dota. Dota to me was a far more impressive project than AlphaStar. Okay, so here. You watching DNM finals today? Or that today? Man, I've always wanted to play one of those, and it's just like such a sweaty game mode. I never have time to do it. Even like to play the first couple days and swap out a bunch. I'll probably watch the I'll probably watch like a couple of the videos that creators make out of the finals. Oh yeah, quick update, Vault, since you're the RS guy. 95 strength on the pure. I actually am pretty excited though. Actually, Vault, one of the things I was thinking, I might even want to get an intern for this at some point. So I've been using the models here for a lot of this refactor of Torch, and the models are really, really stupid. But if you are a good engineer that knows what good code looks like, you can use them to very quickly just port a huge blob of bad code over to something else and to apply a bunch of refactor ops. I'm thinking like, how hard would it be to port an entire private server to C? Because like in my mind, the best possible RLM we could have would be like entire MMO but fast. So you're gonna PK? I've had this account for a long time, man. I just never really finished it. So I figured I would just chuck this on the side monitor since they added the gemstone crap. And I don't know. I've had this for like several years. It was just I never finished it. It's not that hard. Elvarg and Core Logic and C. Well, Volt, if you're interested in doing that with Puffer, I mean, that's a project we'd be very, very interested in. And if you do it well, like, could probably have that be paid as well. At least like an internship level type thing. I don't know what your own situation is. Has to actually be good though. Like, you know, the code's gonna have to end up being something that's like quite compact and concise, and it's gonna have to hit the perf targets to be useful. I was starting with just the Inferno. I think that would be an easy thing to finish because if we can solve that, like that would be enough of a demo to go, okay, if we have the entire thing, right, and we can just drop an agent in any part of it and just like start solving individual bosses, individual tasks, and then start chaining stuff together. That's kind of the perfect end for RL. What's your opinion about Sutton and Silver? Learning through experience is RL. So I don't know what you mean by that. That's RL in a nutshell. What is crit? It's just a RuneScape thing. I don't know. Like MMOs have been a really, really big source of inspiration for a lot of my research. So yeah, of course I play some. 30-year-old dad can intern. Gotcha. Yeah. Do RL for a job? That'd be amazing. I gotcha. Yeah, the tough thing at the moment is we're not hiring. We can't really be hiring full time since Puffer works off of contracts. So like all of our revenue comes from building sims for clients. So I typically, when I hire people, I hire them for a specific contract, and it's just a 50-50 split on whatever that job pays. And this is where this is more like centralized internal dev. So, like for instance, I got Finn on for the summer because he built the drone env, and you know we can take interns. That's fine. But extended full time is really tough because then it creates an obligation to me to basically ensure that we have enough steady stream of contracts, and then that they're allocated reasonably as well. But I do think that if we could get RS in as an env, it would be so freaking cool. It'd actually be so good for research as well. Like, I think that we could get it to the point where if it's built correctly, we could have it so that any individual boss in the game just gets full solved instantly. As a harder project, we could get it to the point that you could solve like an entire raid, and then actually the open world stuff would end up being the hard part, and that would be the longer term challenge. Puffer's great, do it himself, and this is a fun use of time. Very nice. I also promote stuff for people as well. I've gotten a couple people, one guy a job offer one place, and a couple other people recommendations for things. But yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff overall. I don't know if you've looked at I put it on the escape branch. There's like the basic Inferno code. It's actually not terrible. It is handwritten. It needs to be cleaned up, and it's like nowhere near done. But I got the basic mechanics of the pathing and stuff correct, I think. How you doing? How are you doing, lead gen? I have no idea what that means, but how you doing, man? I'm doing all right. Yeah, so this is the problem here, right, with the train activations. Because look, you can do... See where I take that? Doesn't look like you have a ton of time. Yeah, because I got to finish this update, and we also have 3 or 4 actives at the moment on client work. Finding clients. How are you doing, Leech? I mean, we're doing fine, Quinn, at the moment. Like, we have enough clients that unless we get some like larger contracts or some good stuff, we don't really need a ton of more things at the moment. At least until I finish 4.0. We got a couple big projects to work on. We're starting to get larger contracts as well, which is cool. Okay, so this works, but then it's so weird, right? Because look at the train activations. So you have to register the train activation separately. And then what? You gotta register gradients. Would have applied it in so many projects in my past career in hindsight. You didn't miss out, man. It didn't work back then. Like, honestly, 2 years ago, all this stuff would have been impossible. The speed wasn't there. And, like, a lot of the things that we've done, if you just go try to do any of the same stuff with SP3 or any of the other libraries, you'll see immediately, like, RL just doesn't work. Writing custom ends with Puffer, but some reason during training, the episode return starts high, then goes down. Max 1 sparse reward settings. Then goes down. Max 1 sparse reward setting, then goes down. I need more information than that. It could be hypers, could be that your obs are messed up, could be that you're like the env is not actually communicating data correctly. I got a checklist in my RL guide for common bugs. Is it because training was slow? Crit, I would say that was at least half of it was training was too slow. Another like quarter of it was things that are a result of training being too slow, like not having optimized hyperparams. And then the last quarter was actual legitimate algorithmic optimizations and improvements. Man, I'm really just not happy with this at all. Approximately 2 mil SPS. It's reasonable speed. It depends how sparse the rewards are as well, right? I would assume it's not that sparse, because if you're starting at 1, it means that it's getting it randomly at the start, right? Have you played the environment yourself? That's always a good one. This is in my tips and tricks, right? Like if you could see if you can play the environment yourself and if you actually get the reward correctly, see if the obs line up, all of that stuff. Init waits on FP32 master. User logs are good as well. I mean, my guide has a pretty good checklist. If you should run through that first, and then like tell me what you've tried, give me some details about the end, maybe link code if you want me to help fix it. Everything seems correct. Hmm. Have you tried like submitting actions through the it's a mini grid environment? Like make the level super easy as a test. Most of the time it's most of the time it's because you have something dumb in the end. Like the RL is usually pretty good these days. It's to the point now that when things are bugged, I suspect the env more than I suspect the RL. At least for anything like small to medium complexity. No, if you show me that you have a gigantic sparse maze and you're wondering why it's not working, I'm gonna like flip the table. But other than that, it should be good. What do we think of something like this? Is this better? It's a whole bunch of allocators. Well, I can pretty easily clean that up though. Hang on. So you do the create functions and then the init functions. What the hell is this grad? Why can't the grad functions go in there? Oh wait, hang on, they do, don't they? Yeah, this is just the whole grad buffer. Reward curve is like a U. Did you run a basic sweep? Like stuff like that should normally work. It's possible you got jank hypers. Usually it's the case you're doing something dumb, like you're forgetting to clear terminals, or you're forgetting to zero out rewards or something like that. The checklist has like really like at least 80% of the issues people run into. You did run a sweep. So yeah, if you ran a basic sweep and it's not like, I start looking for env bugs. Like, have you gone through that checklist? Like seriously. Yeah, and then we have these buffers as well. This is so complicated, man. I hate this so much. I really, really don't like the way this is. Do I see a way around it though? Not really. So you actually do end up needing a freaking API. We can probably make it not that bad, but man, it sucks. I think I can at least make this version way cleaner than it was before, so it won't be that bad. So this ends up basically, we end up back at the design we had before, just like cleaned up a lot. I guess that happens, right? Where it's like, oh, you think it's the wrong design because you have a dirty version of it. But the correct approach is simply to have a clean version of the design, not to have a different design. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I'm being stupid by not making this a No, it's not stupid not making this a C++ class. They take different buffers. I'm here like, oh, it's like I'm reinventing OOP, but no, I'm not. Because the thing is, like, they take different buffers. I like this. Wait, what the hell? Well, okay, this isn't just being weird. It doesn't have to be this. It should just be decoder, like, that's bizarro. Okay. Um, and then we do the registers. Yeah. Is it error? Yeah. What the heck is this? Don't you get way... What are the usage limits on that, man? Rate limit reached. Yeah, no, we're not doing that, man. We're not dealing with rate limits. One K of tokens. But it's equivalent to 1K of tokens if you're using it like spaced out over the month, right? Perfectly. There's a reason they price it that way. Lovely. And now we get hit by the tax. Basically, idiot tax. It's fine. It's basically going to end up having cost like $2,000 to $3,000 to have like refactored Olive Torch, and then thereafter it should be nowhere near as bad. Like, I don't use Opus very much at all, or any, like, I don't use models very much at all when I'm doing client work on Sims and stuff. It's like I use it when I'm dealing with complete and utter bullshit. Which I guess gives you guys the wrong impression here that the models are good. Like, the models are very stupid, alright? Models are very, very stupid. I don't even know what it thinks it's doing here. Yeah, exactly. What? There. Way better. Oops. Okay, this is the same as before. The determinism is actually very, very nice to have for development. Like, holy, that's a big upgrade. I didn't appreciate how good that was until just now. Like, you basically can say that the code base did not change at all. The determinism is super useful. Okay, so now we have encoder, decoder. They're just struct initialized. They're structs with methods, which, let me do this. Stop one-lining everything. Absolute. Okay, there we go. So that's what they look like. Really? Hmm. That probably would have saved me some money. That seems very odd, though. How bad is it going to be if we end up shipping something like this? Obviously cleaned up. I mean, with the signatures cleaned up, I think this is not terrible with the signatures cleaned up. And, yeah, this will be enough to have it, like, useful. Because the signatures will be fine, and then it'll basically be for an encoder, you need, like, actually, it's right here, right? This is the whole code. So for an encoder, it'd be like this. let's say that the signatures are half the length, so we don't have any of these lines going off screen, same content. One screen of code for an encoder. It's more code than Torch. But this is something much more sophisticated than what Torch is doing. And there's absolutely nothing hidden from you. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. So okay, that's now to the point where I can clean that up in an evening or whatever, doing like super easy work. The next thing that we will work on, there's some stuff in here with the launch functions for sure. There's also stuff in the kernels, and there's stuff in the optimizer. So we've got lots of additional things we can do still. Let's make a quick commit. All of these bindings. Hate to add 100 lines of code, but we'll have to resolve it. Okay, so here's the plan, guys. It is now 10:40. I gotta use the restroom. I gotta walk around a bit. I gotta make myself a cup of tea, and I'm gonna be back in 20 minutes for the Warwick AI presentation. So I'm actually gonna turn the stream off so that when I start it fresh, I'll start it with the new title and everything, because you can't change titles on X without restarting the stream, and that's gonna be the main spot that pops up. So I'll be back in 20 with that presentation, and then I will be live streaming the rest of the day. So you can come back for that. And also, if you are new around here and you want to help me support my work for absolutely free, just take a moment, start the Puffer on GitHub. It really, really helps us out a lot. You can join Discord, you can join follow on X as well if you want to get involved. And that's about it. I'll be back with